And it finished with a heavyweight 2-2 draw between Man City and Arsenal. But with City a goal up, and brilliant, by the way, in the first 15 minutes, Calafiori equalised despite Kyle Walker wanting it to be chalked off. Here's what he made of the incident.
I feel that, listen, I'm not ever going to come on, national TV, national radio and start slagging people off, because there's enough of that going around in the world. What I'm saying is that I've not gone over to the referee. Me and Bakayo have not gone over to the referee. He's called us over.
This is in the first half, isn't it?
So if I'm being called over to the referee, he then should wait and allow me to get back in position before the ball is then gone over my head. So if I go over to the referee by my own accord and myself, and I'm out of position, it's my fault. But I'm in position. He's called the two captains, obviously, to calm the players down, blah, blah. I'm walking back saying, lads, concentrate, nothing stupid, make sure that we get through this. We're 1-0 up at this time. The ball's then going over my head. So, me and Mike have a very good relationship, and I think he has a very hard job, especially at the top levels of the game. He's managed countless, so it's not a dig at him. But for him to say to me, maybe I could have let you get back in another yard, I kind of think, well, for these players now, and these wingers now especially, another yard gives me the advantage rather than the winger the advantage. So again, that's not me being, critical of him. I know.
Gabby, has he got a point? Was it his fault that he was out of position?
No, because watching the game and seeing the replay, he does call Saka and he calls Walker in and he speaks to them, and I see Walker, he sort of turns to run back in position, and before you know it, the ball's played over his head. So I get that. He should wait. It's an easy mistake. Afterwards, like he says, they would have said to Walker, yeah, sorry about that, but you can't go and say no goal. There's a lot that's happened after the free kick's been taken. It's gone over the top. Martinelli's ran it, cut back. Calafiori's put it in the top corner. But I do get the frustration from Walker because he wasn't back in his position. Because if he was, maybe he would have got to Martinelli before he got the ball in behind. Or they never played that ball.
And while Michael Oliver was talking to Bukayo Saka and Kyle Walker, of course, Declan Rice and company moved the ball 10 yards forward, so that the free kick was taken from the wrong place anyway. But you're right. I mean, a lot of things still had to happen after that, so there was still opportunities.
Just frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So Arsenal going in at half-time, as you know, with a 2-1 lead, despite Leandro Trossard being sent off at the end of that first half. I mean, what did you make of that?
I couldn't believe it. I was like, what have you done? Jeff, as a player, when you're on a yellow card, you're squeaky clean. You don't even pull someone back a little bit. You don't leave the floor. You don't slide. You do not do what he did, kick the ball away. After he did it, he probably thought, straight up. It's a second yellow, 100%. No argument from anyone. No argument from the manager. The only argument anyone can ever have is that Doku should have got one as well.
Could he have thought that Michael Oliver's whistle was for half-time? Because they're already over the added time at the end of the first half. Could that have been going through his head?
Maybe, but just the way he did it. He knew what he was doing. He knew it was a foul. You could hear the referee's whistle. And he sort of shoulder barsed into the back of Bernardo Silva. So it was obvious what he did. And let's just see some consistency, though. Let's see it like the Doku kicking the ball away should have been a yellow card as well. That's what's frustrated Arsenal fans. But it was a definite red card. And how annoying was it, Jeff? Because it was such an exciting game. Arsenal were getting the better of Man City at that stage. And
And then it becomes a training exercise because Arteta's decided to play 6-3-0 in the second half. But hey, he was asked afterwards if he thought that they would be able to hang on in the second half.
It's very difficult. It's an accident waiting to happen. You play the best team in the world for 56 minutes with 10 men, which doesn't allow you to put any pressure on the ball, doesn't allow you to get out from your own box, and they don't lose the ball. For these players to be that humble and that discipline and show that competitiveness is just incredible.
Well, our resident Arsenal fan, George, was pointing out that 3 years ago, Granit Xhaka was sent off in the first half at Manchester City and Arsenal lost that game 5-0. Yeah. So was the way he set up in the second half the right thing to do?
I think it was, yes. Look at the first half. Look at Savinho for the Haaland goal. Sharp. You couldn't have given him that space in the second half, 1v1. Bringing Ben White on, 5 at the back, 3 in front as well. It was frustrating, but it was the right thing to do. And Arsenal nearly held on. And I just think Man City were poor though, Jeff. I mean, you could hear it on the commentary and it was true. Why has Diaz got someone to the ball? Why is Diaz and Akanji still on the pitch? You know, why didn't you make changes earlier? Why didn't Foden and Grealish come on earlier? Why didn't Stones come on earlier to make them passes where Diaz was on the ball all the time? If you're Arsenal, you're like, let Diaz shoot. You don't have one player that you're going to let shoot. It was Diaz.
Yeah.
Over the bar.
They missed De Bruyne so much in that situation just to be able to unlock that door. John Stones afterwards was talking about Arsenal's dirty tactics. He said, I don't know if they've mastered it. They've done it for a few years. You can call it clever or dirty, whichever way you want to put it. Well, I'll tell you how you put it, John. If you're a Manchester City fan, you call it dirty. If you're an Arsenal fan, you call it clever. And, of course,
you're down to 10 men. What do you
roles
expect?
could have been, absolutely. Roles could easily have been reversed. I mean, it's a nonsensical thing. I like John Stones, but that's nonsense.
I totally agree. I feel that in the commentary as well, you heard them say that Mourinho will be somewhere in Turkey, like laughing and enjoying his performance from Arsenal, because it was cramp, it was get some information on the pitch by going down. But you have to if you're Arsenal, because you wanted that little breather, Jeff. You couldn't have just been like, stay on the pitch, no one go down. It was the right tactic from Arsenal and Arteta, and it was just frustrating that second yellow red card, because the last bit of the first half, Arsenal was starting to pass the ball. They started to get a bit more joy. It was going to be a more of an even game. So frustrating for the Arsenal players and Arteta not to hold on, but still, you know, to get a result there, 2-2 with 10 men, amazing.
Yeah, and it could be a big point at the end of the season. Tony, the Cardiff City fan, the managerless Cardiff City fan, says, good morning, guys. Always good to hear you in the morning. Of course, at the weekend, they sacked Errol Bullitt. No gags on his name after their worst start, I think it is, Tony, in 94 years.
Wow.
Arsenal fans, City fans, give us a call this morning. 03717 223344. Did yesterday's steely Arsenal performance show you're ready to win the title this season? Or how big could that John Stones goal be for City at the end of the campaign? Give us a call. Coming up. So it looks like Anthony Joshua will return to boxing, but is that the right thing to do? We'll discuss that next.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.